So Sydney Watson and Pearl Davis have been cringe hunting by the looks of it, and if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about this Vice panel that sort of blew up, and rightfully so, which Sydney and Pearl decided to go on, and of course, as Vice say, they got a diverse group of women together to have a conversation.
That woman on the right looks like a North Korean general. What is all that stuff hanging off of?
That's because she's a real woman.
Oh.
Anyway. Oh, no, you mean that one. Sorry, I thought you meant the one behind.
Oh, right.
The North Korean general, yeah, she's just some foreigner who won't shut up about foreign places.
Okay.
I'm not joking.
Never heard of that before. That never happens.
So this is Sydney Watson's response video, which I highly recommend and is very much enjoyable. And good job, Sydney. But the lady on the bottom right there, Sydney tells us that the filming went on for like 4 hours, but the full thing that was released was only 45 minutes.
They always do that, don't they? It's like
It's a lot of content to delete.
One thing that I learned from the Eric Andre show, of all things, is that I know is that they film for ages, like make it as long and drawn out as possible to make the people suffer, and then splice together a couple of minutes of highly edited stuff that's just the most sensational.
Yeah, when it's for pure comedy, like whatever, like who cares? But when you're actually trying to make a serious and professional opinion, because aren't we serious and professional journalists? Advice.com, no. Then you're scumbags. And this lady on the far right there, who looks like Kim Jong-un's sister.
The far right.
Well, Sydney mentions that at one point she just starts whining about like why are we having a panel about feminism and not other countries. And it's like, because you were invited on a panel about feminism, love. What do you think, you dumbass?
Yeah. Someone invites you to have a conversation and you're annoyed that you're not talking about something else.
Well, me, at the conglomerate of toothpaste manufacturers, I'm annoyed why we're not talking about, I don't know, oil or something. We go to the next one here, because Sydney decided to also put out a tweet just mentioning all this. She's like, yeah, Vice edited out the part where I said... and cut a huge portion of my footage before my statement, so this seems kind of out of place. What she's referencing here is she starts getting in an argument with this totally woman, who's a woman.
Okay.
Yeah. And she mentions, for example, that she says that this woman is giving drugs to kids, peddling drugs to kids, etc. And then the moderator's like, let's not make this personal, but that part's just cut out, so it just goes between them talking about a study, and the moderator going, let's not make this personal. I was like, what?
Oof.
Talking about a study. Makes no sense.
That's slimy.
Yeah, but it's a lot. It's a lot of slime, because you can't cut 4 hours to 45 minutes without doing that, for sure. So the war cry I've seen is, release the tapes, release the tapes. Because the thing is, even in the 45 minutes, the left wing is like mental. And in the 4 hours, it's going to look even more mental. So... I look forward to it. We'll go to the full release, if you want to go and check that out. I say full. Not full, is it? 43 minutes. But go and check that out. We'll just note the dislikes there. Nice. And I've cut down some clips just for us to enjoy. And we'll start off...
Enjoy.
with the first one, which is the question was asked, is feminism dead? Let's start with that.
As long as the human race exists, feminism will never be dead. There's something that we're always going to have to strive and work towards to make sure that there's equality. So feminism is not dead.
I don't know that it can die. As long as there's power and oppression, there will be people fighting for equity. And until that somehow goes away, feminism is alive and well.
I think feminism isn't actually about equality. It's about equality when it benefits us. I think feminism... it's really about women wanting special privileges and treatment at the expense of men often. And I think it's alive and well, sadly.
Even with intersectional feminism, exclude African-American women, and it's always kind of done that. And also like, upper middle class white women has predominantly been the face of what we quote unquote consider feminism.
Yeah, so I think you get the feeling of the room.
Yes.
Which is whining about intersectionality, and then two normal people who are like, this is BS.
It has the air of a women's support group, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's just them whinging about their problems.
But I love how, Pearl just says something normal, and then there's like silence. they can't handle that.
I was enjoying the grimace that she got.
Heresy has been spoken, which upsets the locals. And that was the theme throughout, and anyone who watches the full thing, I think, will agree with me on that. And I suppose we'll go to the next one here, where we can see Pearl calling out female privilege, which goes down swimmingly. Let's play that.
Yeah, see, I disagree with that. I think life is easier if you're a girl. Actually,
you
I
can
think
use
I
it
think
as
there's a
an
lot
advantage.
of benefits that men don't have. I'm not going to speak anything to race. I'm just talking about gender specifically. It's usually like an excuse. Like honestly, I think as a girl you have equal opportunity in the world. I think there's benefits, like for example, we have quotas for women in specific jobs that are given to us that aren't given to men. So yeah, I would say it's easier being a girl.
Just from a viewpoint over here, though, it seems there's a lot of pretty privilege in what you're saying, and that you're white and you present.
Do you think I'm pretty? Thank you.
I think that you present.
I mean, let's also dig into why these quotas exist and why these, what you're calling
Because we
privileges
want
exist.
special treatment.
No, it's because there have historically and presently in most jobs been fewer women, and because of sexism.
How is it sexism when we have no barriers today? So we can
Who
pick
has
what
no
we want to
barriers?
pick.
It doesn't have barriers.
Women don't have barriers.
Women, yeah. What's
We have
stopping
no
you? You can do
barriers.
whatever you want.
I
stopping
can,
you?
or you can.
What's stopping you? As a woman.
As a woman.
As a woman.
See, that ignores a lot that I'm a woman with a disability. So there's a lot stopping me that you don't have to think about.
Well, as I
you don't
said
have to
before,
think
I'm
about.
speaking about women.
run the
I'm
track.
you're
I'm
speaking
not-
you're speaking for yourself.
You're speaking as
an able-bodied
able-bodied
white woman.
I
That is
understand.
white.
Of
Presents
course,
white.
Presents white. Well, okay. So Pearl is asking the question, what barriers are there for women to doing whatever the hell they want? And the response she gets is, you have pretty privilege, you present white, and, well, I have barriers as a disabled person. It's like, women aren't disabled. Love.
That's a very sexist thing to say.
She's
lady.
like, well, as a disabled person, I'm like, no, women. No, come on. I also I'm going to note it because I can't stand it. It really plays on me. No, maybe it's petty. But the woman in the background there, when she speaks, she constantly says, there are barriers for woman.
Woman,
Yeah.
not women.
No.
Just singular.
I've noticed this.
Just for one woman.
The intersectionals, they keep saying that like this grammatical error, which you might think tiny and insignificant, but this I keep seeing it. I remember when who was that leader of the Liberal Democrats here who couldn't name what a woman is?
Is it Joe
Joe Swanson or whatever.
Swinson? Yeah.
Swinson, who cares, loser. But she just kept saying like the woman lose, like women who have penis.
Cave language.
Yeah, it's weird thing.
Woman
Anyway,
lose, no have penis.
someone else has got to pick up on this because I can't be the only one who's just like, for God's sakes, what the hell's wrong with you? Anyway, well, we'll move to the after being told that present white and you're pretty. Which, okay.
I wish I had debates where people complimented me. That's nice.
You've got pretty privilege, Josh.
Oh, thank you.
We'll go to the next part of that conversation, which was what about the pay gap? Which, yeah, it's kind of fun.
You're just going to ignore the pay gap, regulation over bodies.
Pay gap has been
Well,
disproven
the
and
pay gap
debunked
doesn't
endlessly,
exist.
my friend.
It doesn't.
that's so funny.
It's the industry.
That women structure their lives differently to men. Men don't give birth. Men don't have to carry pregnancies. Men don't have to be the primary caregiver most of the time. Women also don't hold jobs for as long as men do. They often will stop and start. They'll go back into work. They'll take time off. They'll take part-time jobs. The way that men work and women work are astronomically different. And to try to say that they're comparable is where this issue comes from. They're not comparable.
First of all, let's dig into why they think that they should take these jobs, which is societal sexism.
Yes, indeed. Societal sexism is why women don't want to climb up a electronic pole 300 feet in the air.
I like how progressive always deprive women of agency. Just like, yeah, society tells you to do something, and then you do it.
Yeah.
It's just like, you have no agency over your own life.
I mean, speaks like a caveman, so maybe thinks like a caveman.
Yeah, I mean, imagine saying to someone, yes, you're controlled by the whims of the world around you. You have no agency. And thinking you're the good guy. Just like, no. Normal people think that, yes, people have control over their own lives.
Yeah, no.
They're responsible for their own decisions.
It's almost like women just don't want to do those jobs. It's weird, isn't it?
It's really strange how there aren't many female deep-sea fishermen.
No?
I mean, well, it's funny, there aren't many female bin men, or
No, I thought women love
bin
taking
women,
out the trash.
even.
You don't have that? You get married to a lady and she's always, I'll take out the trash. Men shouldn't take out the trash. I'm going to take out the trash. Never.
Bins have always been a man's job. I'm proud of my bin duty.
But that's the thing. It's just like, women don't want to do these things. Stop being silly. There's society. There's this. Oh, shut up. You don't know anything. But the second point as well was something dumb. I just couldn't be bothered, so I ended up clipping that bit. But we'll get to the next clip here, which is going back to the question, which is, so what barriers actually exist for women? Because the idea that, it's just society. Yeah, okay. go back to preschool. Let's ask the question. Come on. Which barriers exist for women? Not disabled people, because remember, women aren't disabled. If that lady in the corner can, get that through her skull. But let's play this one.
What would you like to know an example of?
I know you said that there's like barriers. I want to know what barriers in the U.S. today as a woman.
Well, as a woman or as a woman of color? Let's be specific.
As a woman, I said
and we
as
don't,
a woman.
Maybe
Well,
the
no, I
goalposts.
can't answer as a woman.
I
'cause I'm
just feel like
not a
your
woman,
question is
right?
kind of hostile when you're like, there are no barriers to what I want. Congratulations. That means you have a privilege where you're not facing any friction.
What would
pretty
a world
privilege.
that has equity look like? Like, would it be 50% of everyone in the same jobs? Would it be like prison, 50%?
That's equality.
50%.
Yeah,
So what does equity look like?
So equity is generally described as a state of fairness because historically a lot of people have been arguing for equality, but what does that give us? Like 0.5 of the 1% being women. This doesn't really do anything for us. And so people have talked about equity instead, which is instead of sameness, it's fairness. And this would mean that we remove systemic barriers to engage in society, not just for women, but also for everyone.
So which barriers?
Those
Okay,
barriers that you
so-
don't believe in.
I do. Go
for
on.
you to have a bunch of ramps in your life? It doesn't do shit. I need those ramps, right?
Can we stick to male versus female? That's my question. So I'm thinking male versus female.
But my feminism includes ability, it includes
but my
race.
question is
You
for
guys
women.
can talk.
Women
You can
versus men. Like what barriers do we need removed? Because that's my statement. I'm not stating anything else. I'm stating women versus men.
It's very silly.
Like so
It's
what
extreme.
barrier?
Why is
I
it
just want
silly?
to know.
The question
it's a
is
fair
silly.
question.
So, yeah, but I'm
It's
saying,
not a fair question. It's
how is it
hostile.
not a fair question?
Kind of proving the point of what people, especially black women, other people who are anybody who's not white, why we hear feminism and we don't want that label because it means, I'm just gonna say, it means that.
It means asking the question, what are the barriers facing women? And that's not allowed to be asked. It is an illegitimate question. It is a rude question, a stupid question. Why?
I don't know. I mean,
Because it questions the legitimacy of intersectionality.
well, yeah.
Because feminism was, once upon a time, a female movement in which they would talk about the barriers that face women or the privileges that they want in society as women. And that was at least understandable in the sense of, like, that's feminism. It's about about the women here. But the intersectionals came along and went, yeah, what about every possible factor under the sun that I can leverage into this? What about me as disabled? What about me as black? What about me as transgender? What about me as... Shut up. And that's what it became, a squabbling, unlistenable debate.
It does reveal that they can't actually answer the question properly because they don't know of any barriers.
No, there aren't any.
So they've got to bring up, I'm
let's get
black,
that
I'm
out.
disabled.
So instead, it's just like, I mean, that conversation's just long since gone, probably because feminism didn't have any legitimacy. I mean, there were no barriers anyway, so that's dumb.
But legally speaking, men are discriminated against over women. Women have shorter prison sentences for the same crimes.
Yeah,
And get discriminated in favour of in the workplace, don't they?
But the thing is that the intersectionals took over, moved their movement forward, completely forgot about why on earth they have this term feminism applied to them for some reason. Like, it's just a legacy term at this point. And instead they sit there crying about, well, I'm black, I'm disabled, I've got an ugly face. Yeah, okay, right. Yeah, I don't present white. Well, I mean, you could. I mean, if it's all about presentation all of a sudden, why not just present white then? If it's such a privilege. Whatever. Anyway. And that's the reason. That's the reason that question isn't allowed. And why they got so butthurt about this conversation of what name the barriers is because it questions the legitimacy of what they have done. Anyway, we'll move to Sydney, who has a very good response and the best response, which is shut up. Let's play that.
Like such conservative thinking to say like, I don't understand, explain it to me, versus just saying, I don't understand and let me respect what you are saying.
I'm respecting
right?
wherever your starting point. I'm respecting that. I'm really respecting that. I'm saying that if you don't have the mindset you can even achieve it, you're never going to even try. So it's
But
never...
achieve what? Like, what are we talking about?
Achieve
Because I
a
feel like you've
fair
projected
world.
this like
No,
capitalist
achieve-
ideology on every woman.
I don't understand how we're getting so off topic. This is about feminism today, whereas everybody wants to make this about their individual, here are all the multitude of other things that factor into my person. Great. This is about feminism. It's about womanhood. I understand that all of you have your own individual experiences and the other things that feed into you as a person. That's perfectly fine. But this is where intersectionality falls off the planet and loses, I would argue, probably the vast majority of people, including me. I'm not even a feminist. I don't give a crap about feminists arguing amongst themselves about who's the most victimized. But this is annoying to listen to. I honestly I don't understand anything anybody's even trying to get at.
Look, I just want to say that I don't think equity and this concept of competition can't coexist with each other. Equity is...
Nobody listened. She's like, you're all annoying to listen to and unbearable. But what about equity? And then it just cuts to that dumbass woman in the chair there who's just like, yes, indeed. like a troll or something.
Are you sure that's a woman?
It is. It's just
I don't know what to think anymore.
Gosh, she's an awful person as well. Like in this clip, I mean, there is one aspect to this that Sydney mentioned as well, because you're filming 4 hours, everyone just kind of got hungry by the end. Which
they're all hangry, that's why they're not sticking to the topic.
But this person was just awful throughout, so there's that. They then moved on to a conversation about abortion, and nobody listens to anyone. So it was a conversation about abortion. But anyway, we are going to show one clip from that, which was the most revealing and the most interesting, which is, Pearl pipes up and is like, you're all using it as birth control, you sluts. And what do you think the response is? No, we don't. That's a straw man. Nah, that wasn't the response. Let's play.
We're talking about access to reproductive health. For me, I'm thinking about Black, Indigenous, people of color, particularly.
I think women want to sleep around and not have any consequence for it.
Hell yeah, we do.
Yeah! Yeah, instead of, taking personal accountability and being on birth control, they just want to, do whatever they want.
You say this like it's a bad thing.
But there are consequences because women are the ones who get pregnant and carry babies and give birth.
It's very binary version of
sex.
Yes,
because sex is binary, but please let me finish my point.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you can see where it's going next.
I'm getting a headache just listening to this.
Painful. So I can't get over the woman in the top right there, who is giving their opinion on abortion. Shut up. Shut up. And it was just like, yeah, I want to sleep around and not get pregnant. You won't get pregnant anyway. Shut up. It's just embarrassing to watch anyway. But that was the bastardized abortion debate, which was a huge waste of time, as it usually is. And then we'll get to the trans question, because that's where that was going. You have a very binary view of sex. That's because it is. Oh, no. Let's enjoy this.
Should trans women be included in feminist conversations? How about in women's spaces?
Yes, they're women. What's the question?
Pearl,
trans women or women?
So I want to come at this from the position of an athlete.
Oh, Jesus.
Again, we work very hard for the little opportunity there is in the space because we're not as entertaining as the men. Sorry, we're just not. And so it's like you're going to take the little opportunity that we're given. And the problem is, we can't compete. We can't. I'm 6 foot. If I go up against a 6 foot guy and I play basketball with him, he's gonna body me.
And what happens if I go up against you?
Even if I have years more of training. And so it's like you're taking away the little opportunity that we're given and we all work so hard for. And you're just giving it back to biological guys. It's like this will be the end of women's sports.
Have you tried confidence?
Eli, hold on, Minnie.
Sorry,
Eli.
confidence can't make me bench what a guy benches.
I don't
confidence can't make
you
me
guys
6'7".
are so hostile. She's sharing her
And confidence
experience
can't make
in
me
a
6'7".
specific
No, she's
field.
sharing
And
trans
I'd have to
misogyny.
go.
No,
She's sharing trans misogyny. I want to cover this at the perspective of an athlete. Oh, no. It's just such a reveal to the little sly comments they have to make throughout, because they're two women. Also, I just love the you know what? No, not even going to try. Everyone knows the truth about this. I'm not even going to waste my time on this. It's just unbearable to be like, just get more courage and you'll beat the men in basketball, Pearl. Just get more courage. Just inject some courage. It's called doping. Anyway.
If I get more courage, I can bench more than the world's strongest man, apparently.
Yeah. And
courage is all it takes. It's not the size of your muscles.
The last thing I'm going to share here is just the Kim Jong-un sister over there, who decides to just be unbearable as well, because Sydney's just like, maybe you should just stop being retarded. And she doesn't take that well. So let's play that.
With your own experiences and your own existence, and yet when a woman is sitting here telling you, I feel as though this is unfair and this is compromising and this situation is not helping women, you guys are like, meh, meh, meh. But when you're like, I'm a black person that did this, 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 and this, then it's valid and fair and viable. And we're constantly shouted over and talked over, regardless of what we look like, because there's one group in society that basically takes precedence, and it's frustrating. So yeah, of course, it's frustrating because when we try to talk about it, we get shouted down, we get told to be quiet, we get spoken down to as well. So
Okay,
there's hostility there for plenty of women.
Let's try to make this an opportunity to speak.
You're literally a white woman from Australia. You live in a bubble and you're pissed that voices that have been silenced forever finally can be heard.
Yeah, finally. Finally it can be heard, the oppressed voices of the world and their evil cackles that come with it.
To be fair, I would love to silence her voice. My God, is it annoying.
Wish we could live in such a world, but that's been gone forever. And that's just the BS of like, don't you know we can finally be heard? Shut up. Shut up.
We can't stop hearing you. We just want to be left alone.
They then go on to whine about, the SJWs go on to whine about how they're no longer pretty. Which is weirdly reminiscent of Carl's video the other day where he was mentioning about, as you grow older, you become less pretty and more fat, and then men stop paying attention to you. And one of the wheelchairs specifically whining about that. And it's just like, yeah. And then the man in the dress in the back there concludes that everyone is perfect just the way they are. Which is why he put on a dress. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's just comically stupid, but the whole conversation is comically stupid. And we'll just end this off with some of the fallout, which is, as you can see here, Hassan reacts to, which is his channel, reacted by just saying, shut the F up and you lost. Sydney, I don't think lost, though, because strangely enough, Hassan, the public don't agree. And we'll check that in a minute. We'll just go to Eli, who thinks that definitely they won. The SJWs here, somehow. They didn't, in the slightest, but whatever. Delusion world is delusion world.
Oh, God. I cited a study. The meme becomes reality. I mean, what about all of the research showing sex differences between men and women?
Yeah, but I've got a study that says...
Oh, one study, hell yeah. There are tens of thousands of studies.
But we'll go to the full release from Vice. It's a 26% like ratio by the time I found it, so that shows clearly Hassan is correct, that everyone was on the side of the SJWs, not the other way around. Dumbass. Top comments that I found from Rated was, number 1, Sydney is right. Number 2 was, thank you, Sydney and Pearl, for maintaining your composure. Number 3 was Sydney and Pearl for being the voice of reason. The fourth most biggest comment I could find was Sydney and Pearl need to be commended. I'm not even joking. That's not my bias. Like, you can check out the comments yourself, like the highest rated ones. I literally all just, I love Sydney and Pearl. Sydney and Pearl come to my wedding. It's ridiculous. And then we'll end it off with the SJW skulking away, which shows how much they won. If you click on the right one there, the two biggest SJWs from it are sitting around. We've got Kim Jong-un's sister and the one behind her talking about how they felt violence. They went through violence. As you can see,
it didn't look like violence to me.
Yeah, there was no violence.
The only violence going on was the shrill noise in my ears.
Yeah, but you can tell who's lost by who's skulking, and you're skulking. So skulk some more, you losers. If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as the premium articles we do, this one on Against Lived Experience, with an audio track for silver and gold tiers, of course. If you'd like to find out what else we're putting out, you can follow us on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.